Hey, welcome to Ask Annette Wednesday. Today I have been asked a question by a friend of mine. She wants to know, what is the difference between a cleanse and a detox? All right, well, let's get down to it. I'm also going to cover what are the benefits and when do you need to do a cleanse or a detox. Now, if you stay till the very end, you're also going to hear what are the spiritual implications of a cleanse and a detox. I'm Annette Reeder, the Biblical Nutritionist. Thanks for joining me. So let's look at this. What is the difference between a cleanse and a detox? Well, first of all, a cleanse is really more of a cleansing of the digestive system. You've got a lot of sluggishness, you're tired, you're agitated, your hormones are all messed up, and some people it's just about being constipated or you can't lose weight. So a cleanse is about eating specific foods for a specific period of time so that your digestive system can heal. And when your digestive system heals, then the other systems in your body just have an cumulative effect, and they also begin to heal as well. And so it's kind of like there's always going to be weeds in my garden. No matter how much mulch or fabric I put down, we still seem to have a recurrence of weeds. Well, in our diet and in our lifestyles, if you live in America, and I know some of you that watch these videos aren't in America, but if you live in America, you are going to be exposed to toxins. They're going to accumulate. It's going to happen. Well, by doing a cleanse, you help your body to get rid of them. So it's very important to do a cleanse and also to do it at particular times of the year, which we're going to get to here in a little bit. Okay, so a healthy cleanse is actually going to keep the good gut bacteria, the good microbiome in balance, and it's just going to help you eliminate the trash. That's just a very simple way of explaining it. If you do an unhealthy cleanse, you actually could have an opposite effect. You may get rid of a lot of trash, but you might get rid of the whole healthy microbiome at the same time. So a healthy cleanse was going to help either establish or protect the microbiome that you have set up. And the microbiome is just your healthy environment in your digestive system that delivers health to your body. It helps you to ward off any invaders. It helps you to prevent inflammation. It helps you to absorb vitamins and minerals, all of that. All of that is determined by your gut bacteria and your microbiome. So if you have a healthy one already, a good cleanse is going to keep it healthy and actually to nourish it. If you aren't balanced with a healthy microbiome, a good cleanse is actually going to reestablish it. All right, so that's just an idea about that. What are some good cleanses? It would be eating vegetables, really fresh organic vegetables for the week. It could be different things such as an apple cider vinegar cleanse. It could be, there's some other ones out there such as parsley and ginger teas, things like that. There's several different options out there, but definitely be very particular about what you choose to use for a cleanse. Now, let's look at a detox. Okay, a detox is more about your kidneys and your liver. Your kidneys and your liver are going to filter everything that's vital to your health, everything that you take in, everything that you absorb, and they're going to help the bloodstream to be clean and beautiful. Or if your kidneys and your liver aren't working well, then your bloodstream is going to be very sluggish. It's going to be very toxic. And then everything in your body is going to be affected. So our liver and our kidneys are our primary organs in our body that keep us looking beautiful, feeling energetic, and having a healthy future. So a detox is usually more focused on those two organs. It's a liver detox. It's a kidney detox, even though we don't call them that. And so that's basically the difference. Now, realize that these two organs were created by God to do this detoxifying effect. I mean, they do it continually. Whether you say, I'm doing a detox or not, that is their God-given responsibility. Isn't it beautiful to know that even before time, God knew what we would need today? Now, when we get to heaven and we no longer have toxins that we're being exposed to, then that'll be great. But for right now, we do need to consider how many chemicals we're taking in, how much iron's in our water, how many pesticides are we being exposed to, environmental pollutants. If you're using toxic cleaners in your home like Windex, Tide, 409, all of that, you're being exposed to more than your body should be exposed to. Therefore, we need to help the liver and the kidneys to do their job, and therefore we do a detox. Now, so I just shared with you a detox is really focused on those two organs and help them do better, whereas a cleanse is more of a weeding out and kind of cleaning things up. Now, these two words, cleanse and detox, can really be used interchangeably. In most people's circles, they mean the same thing, and they primarily do similar things. But if you really want to get specific, there is a difference, and it's just a matter of how you are, whether you're doing a cleanse or you're doing an actual detox. All right, so when do we need to detox or cleanse? Now, I'm just going to start using the words interchangeably. Now, this is something that everyone, don't tell me how healthy you are or how unhealthy you are, everyone, this includes everyone, you got that? Okay, so the best seasons to do this is always going to be the spring and the fall. So consider the biblical seasons of feasting and fasting. We have in the spring, it starts with Purim, which starts with a 3-day fast, and then where God delivered the Israelites, leading into the Passover and then the Pentecost. All right, this is a time of spiritual renewal. It's a time of seeking God for a good harvest, for celebrating the Feast of First Fruits. These are times of reflection to help us stay centered on God and not get distracted with worldly influences. Then in the fall, we have the Feast of the Gathering. The season of growing has come to an end. It's time to gather in for the final celebration. Again, it's a time of reflection, and it's centered our focus on who provided. Okay, so these are two seasons that God has specifically set aside, and he says, hey, I want you to do this every year. I want you to come back and be reminded of what I've done in the past and what I'm going to do in the future. So when you're thinking about a cleanse and a detox, actually spring and fall, even if you knew nothing about the biblical feasts, spring and the fall is always going to be your best seasons. It has to do with many things that are happening in the world, not like politically, but I mean just in the seasons of times, in the moons, things like that. There's a lot of things that come into play in the spring and the fall that make a cleanse or a detox in those seasons the best. Now in America, it's going to happen in January because everybody's been binging for 3 months. I get that. Actually, the best time to do a cleanse is whenever you're willing to do a cleanse. Okay, so if you're willing to do it and it's summertime, then go for it. Now, typically, God would not have asked the Israelites to do it during the summer because that's a time of work. That's a time of working in the field. That's a time of, growing the gardens. It's managing the agriculture. So he would have never called us to do that during such an intense time of work. Well, but for us in America, we're the same all year round for the most part, unless you're a farmer. So really, the best time to do a cleanse or a detox is whenever you're willing. Okay, so when would you schedule this? Now, what are the benefits of a detox or a cleanse? So I've already kind of covered some of this. So remember, a detox is more specifically focused on your liver and your kidneys. I've already done some videos on parsley and ginger and how those just have a incredibly beautiful cleansing effect on your kidneys. So if you're tired, if you're exhausted, which is kind of the same thing, or if you're stressed out too much, you're depressed, if you're having mood swings, if you're having skin issues, if you're having mental problems, then you really do need to consider a detox for your liver and your kidneys. Even things such as hormonal swings or infertility, a lot of this can be helped easier once you go through a detox. All right, so this is just very, very important. So a cleanse is kind of like a sweep. Let's just get rid of the toxins. Let's get our digestive system working again, which will also benefit the liver and the kidneys. Okay, so they kind of all work together, even though there is some specific things that they each do. Okay, so now if you go through a cleanse or you go through a detox and you say, Annette, it didn't work. I don't feel better, and you're getting really aggravated at me or whoever suggested it, you don't have more energy, then I'm going to tell you, you cheated. You did not do what I told you to do. You didn't follow the guidelines. You thought that 1 cookie, 2 cookies, 10 cookies wouldn't matter. It does, because there's a chemical change that we're trying to have happen to create the best cleanse or detox. So I know you cheated, you got into the processed food or you went through a drive-through and during this time period, and that's why it didn't work. So call me up, email me, let's talk about it. Now, when this happens, when you cannot stick to a 3-day or a 7-day cleanse or a detox, then there's going to be, it shows a lack of discipline. I'm not trying to get down on you. Actually, I am a little bit, but let's just come down to it. And so when you have a lack of discipline in your eating, quite possibly you're going to have a lack of discipline in your spiritual walk as well. They're related. We talk about this several times in our DVD series about how just as you are spiritual, you are physical. Just as you are physical, you are spiritual. They're always connected. All right? Okay, so what does a cleanse do to your body? And I've already kind of covered this a lot. It should not be used to lose weight. You will lose weight, but it's not a sustained weight loss. It could be a jump start to weight loss, but it's not a sustained weight loss because you're going to go back to eating more calories. You're going to go back to adding back in the proteins or the fats, whatever you eliminated, or the carbs, whatever you eliminated will cause a weight loss. But you cannot live life without proteins, fats, and carbs. Those are the essential major nutrients that your body thrives on. Okay? You have to have those. Now, like I said, it can help correct hormonal imbalances so that you can then get going on your weight loss. It can help correct pH balance. It can help recreate the microbiome in your digestive system, which is all some people need to get the weight loss started. So it can definitely use to start weight loss, but a cleanse or a detox is not a weight loss program in a healthy form. Okay, so is a detox or a cleanse good for you? Well, let's look at it this way. Do you remember in college when we keep getting assignments after assignments after assignments and all these papers that are due, and it's like, it's just crazy. I would sit there and pray for a snowstorm and school get canceled. That way I could catch up. Well, that's the way our body is. We keep burdening it with so many toxic elements, even though we may not even be aware of all of them. But we do, and our body needs a break. This is why God set aside different times of the year for celebrating Him, for focusing on Him, because He's like, wait a minute, you need to pause. You need to hit the pause button and say, wait a minute, let's reevaluate what's important in your life. And so sometimes you just need a snowstorm so you can catch up. Well, a cleanse or a detox is a snowstorm. It's like, hey, I'm going to take this time out and I'm going to do this. Now, if you're considering doing a cleanse or a detox, just know that your body is just going to say, okay, well, first of all, it might complain because that's your mental part kicking in. And the second part is going to be, thank you. Your body's going to give you a thumbs up saying, thank you for doing this. I can finally take a breath. If you're using healthy foods and trusted supplements, that includes herbs such as dandelion root, milk thistle, reishi mushrooms. This is going to take your level of detox to an even deeper level and a better cleanse. So as you can see, I'm using the words interchangeably. All right, so another question is, what's the difference between a detox and a laxative? I love this question. If done properly, and I do mean the word properly, your detox should improve the functioning ability of the organs, including your digestive system. So a good detox should reset your digestive system to start working appropriately. Now, so many times, a detox is going to work for that. A laxative is designed to release material from the large colon, okay? And if it's not done properly, this actually can cause an imbalance in the microbiome. So there are shelves full of chemicals to create a laxative in the stores, the grocery stores, the pharmacies. Actually, I'm never in a pharmacy, but in the grocery stores, I see it. And I just cringe when I see them on the shelf because actually I want to go around and start turning them backwards so people don't see them and grab them because it's like toxic, toxic, toxic. I'm actually very destructive in a grocery store. But anyway. Okay, so you need to be very careful. If you need a laxative more than once a week, let's talk about it. That's not eating the right amount of vegetables, specifically fibrous vegetables. That's not drinking enough water. That's not getting enough magnesium foods in your diet. That could just be not enough essential fats in your diet. All of these things are very important to avoid constipation. All right, so, even a magnesium supplement from a trusted company can make a huge difference on that issue. So I would rather you do a detox twice a year, and then if you need a laxative, if you can't figure it out by changing your diet, then give me a call and we'll talk about it. All right, now, coming down to the end, what is the benefit for Christians to do a detox or a cleanse? There is so much hype out there about these two topics, detoxes and cleanse. Are they even necessary? Are they something Christians should do? Well, you probably have already figured out by what I've been teaching you so far that yes, they are very necessary. And God even pretty much set an example of taking time out to do this. So spiritually and biblically, if you could look at the word fasting. So Old Testament, New Testament always refers to fasting as a spiritual discipline. Now, it's a discipline that we use. In fact, I've got an entire chapter written about it in the Bible study, and we have an entire video on it in our DVD series. And so a fast is a time to really seek a deeper understanding of God and what His plan is for your life, either right now or for future plans that you're making. So anytime we change our eating plan, either we just change to different food groups for a certain period of time, or we fast totally from food, or we do a cleanse or a detox. What we're doing is we're changing our focus. When we do this, it gives our body a chance to heal from food sensitivities sometimes you're not even aware of that you have. Plus, it gives our heart a chance to heal from other addictions. All right, don't even go away yet. I am coming to the best part. So a cleanse or a detox is a form of fasting. It's a chance to put aside our regular eating patterns for a change of pace and a change for more clarity, both physically, mentally, and spiritually, which would be 3 things, not just 2 things. Okay, so any addiction that we can have can be a deterrent to our worship. All right. When we are always focused on food or certain foods, our mind is less focused on being in that continual state of prayer that the scripture talks about. So a detox or a cleanse can actually help us change our focus. Now, this only happens when we go into the state of a detox or a cleanse with the right attitude. If you're going into it because that nutritionist said you had to, or that health coach said you need to do a cleanse, or everybody on the internet, hey, let's do a cleanse. You did it for that reason, then you're like, why am I doing this? I hate this. No, we've got to have the right attitude. Now, I want to take you for a moment to Israel. I want you to imagine that you're in Israel. You've seen the pictures, you have visions in your mind, and you're walking up the steps on the southern side of the temple. Here's what I want you to realize. Those southern steps are not in an even pattern. When we go into churches today, they're in even pattern steps. They're the same distance, the same depth. Every step is the same. Now, when you were going into the temple in Israel, in Jerusalem, those steps aren't even at all. They're irregular. And that was on purpose. This is so beautiful. I love it. And so they're irregular because God wanted you to change your pace as you went into a time of worship. Have you ever thought about this? Sometimes we're just so busy with our life. It's like, let me just check that off, check that off, check that off, check that off. And we just stay at this crazy fast pace. But yet God is saying, hey, wait a minute. It's time to worship. I want you to change your pace. And when the steps are irregular, you have to consciously think about, oh, wait a minute. You're stepping in different patterns, changing your pace. See, when I think about a cleanse or a detox, it's a time to change your pace. It's not just about the health benefits. It's about the spiritual benefits. That's why I highly recommend doing it in the spring and the fall during these festival times. And we're still in those festival times right now. We're in the 50 days, the 7 weeks before Pentecost. So this is still a really good time. So here's what I want you to understand. During a cleanse or a detox, yes, enjoy the physical benefits because they will happen. And if you've ever had trouble making it to day 4 of a cleanse or a detox, sometimes it's a spiritual issue that's happening because our body does not want to give up sugar. Our body does not want to give up control of eating when we want, however much we want. And so reaching it to day 4, you got to get past day 3 to get the true breakthrough. Remember, 3 days he was in the ground when he arose for our complete resurrection that we're going to have to come. God wants us to change our focus. He wants us to change our focus spiritually, physically, so that everything we do is always in alignment with what he wants in our life. He wants us to reevaluate what's important. When you go through a cleanse or a detox, you actually have an opportunity to recognize, wait a minute, that food was giving me a headache and I don't have a headache anymore. You're reevaluating this. You're understanding that not only are you physical, but you're spiritual. Not only are you spiritual, but you're physical. as a Christian, yes, you should do a cleanse. You should do a detox, whichever one you want to go for. And yeah, they're totally used interchangeably. I want to encourage you to do this. Get in touch with someone who likes, teaching cleanses and detoxes. Follow our group as well. And just recognize that this is a time to set yourself apart, to change your pace as if you're going into the temple in Jerusalem, and really see what God has for you. Let Him do a work in you physically and spiritually. Annette Reeder, Biblical Nutritionist. Thanks for watching.